Hey everybody, my name is Brittany and I've been studying the Bible since April of 2017. And when I first started, I knew nothing about it. It was a lot of information, it was overwhelming, sometimes stressful, so I wanted to start a Bible for beginners Bible study. We'll just go over the basics and overview of everything so that you know what is what and where in your Bible. This week we're going to do Lamentations. Lamentations is written by Jeremiah, the weeping prophet. It is 5 chapters, and each is a poem or song weeping about the destruction of Judah. The first 4 are the acrostic poems. So we've had this before in the Bible. All right, so it was originally written in Hebrew, and each of the verses start with the next letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Obviously, when translated, it doesn't really come out that way in the English form, but the first 4 are acrostic, as in Hebrew. It was written around 586 BC. The first chapter, he writes about the city, how empty it is, how it's now ruled over by the Babylons. The city is referred to as she. Even though the city cried out, no one helped him. They all of them turned their noses up to her. Chapter 2 is about God and how he alone brought on all this destruction. He used other people to do it. He used Babylon to do it. God takes away all his things, like his temples. He makes them forget the festival days, the days of worship on his people. And he says he blames the false prophets and teachers for leading his people astray. Chapter 3 is different. It's much longer. In this one, it's 3 verses beginning with each of the letter. So it'd be 3, 3, 3. So Jeremiah takes on the role of a sufferer in this one. And it begins with detailing the pain that they've gone through. But then there's the light, and it says to seek and wait for God, and he will come and show compassion. But his punishments are just. The people ask for protection from God and to repay Judah's enemy, Babylon. Chapter 4 starts describing Israel as a once precious jewel that has now turned into mud. So, it was once beautiful and rare and precious, and now after all the sinning, the idol worshiping, etc., it's just mud that you can step outside and get. It describes how there are people so poor they're eating their own babies. Not the best imagery there, but it really kind of puts into context how awful this is. Israel was unclean, and everyone mocked them. No one helped them. They just pointed their fingers and laughed. Chapter 5 is the only non-acrostic poem, and it asks God to remember them and what all they've gone through. They're extremely poor. They're starving. They're sick. They're dying. They're low. There is no more joy, no more happiness, no laughing. They are begging and pleading for his help to remember them. So, and this is during, this is after, like, the Babylonians had exiled all of the Israelites. So it's just showing how awful their life has become now that they've been exiled. It really is almost heart-wrenching to read it, to really understand it, and know that it was things that was happening. It's not made up. It's not over-exaggerating it, I guess. That was their life back then. And it's scary to think that it could happen again. Let's see, next week we're going to do Ezekiel, another prophet. that also lived during Jerusalem's fall, and he was one of the ones that was exiled into Babylon. So it'll be kind of a different perspective. You guys have a great week, and God bless.